Welcome to ICSE and WBSE English Solution. Students, here you will get ICSE and ISC computer application with Blue J by Momita ma'am. So subscribe our channel now and keep watching. Students, today we will learn about the third chapter, genetics. What is genetics? Genetics is the study of transmission of body features from parents to offspring and the laws relating to such transmission. That means in genetics, the characteristics are being transferred from parents to their children and to the offspring, and this law is related to genetics. So genetics is the study of transmission of body features from parents to offspring and the laws relating to such transmission. The next question, who is the father of genetics? We know that Gregor Johann Mendel is the father of genetics. The next question, define heredity. The term heredity may be defined as transmission of genetically based characteristics from parents to offspring. So we can see that there is a lot of difference in between genetics and heredity. Genetics is the transmission of body features from parents to offspring, and heredity is the transmission of genetically based characteristics from parents to offspring. Now the next one, who is the father of genetics? We already learned about this. Gregor Mendel is the father of genetics. Now the next one, what is character and trait? Any inheritable feature is a character and the alternative forms of a character are called traits. That's all. The next one is genetic disease. The first is hemophilia. Hemophilia is a certain state when the person who is suffering from hemophilia, his bleeding does not stop for a slight wound. Next, there is thalassemia. Thalassemia is a kind of inherited blood disorder where there is the less oxygen carrying protein, means hemoglobin, and fewer red blood cells, means RBC. That means the person who is suffering from thalassemia, he or she has the deficiency for hemoglobin and red blood cell. The next one is sickle cell anemia. When a person is suffering from sickle cell anemia, his or her RBC or red blood cell forms a sickle cell, and for this there is a blockage in the blood vessels, and as a result the person feels a lot of pain. Homologous chromosome. Homologous chromosome is a pair of corresponding chromosomes of the same shape and size, one from each parent. Who coined the term gene? The term gene was coined by geneticist Wilhelm Johansen. Now we will just have a look on the key points of this chapter. The first one is the XX combination makes a female and the XY makes a male. You should take the note that the XX must be capital and XY must be capital. That means the same type of chromosomes, XX is forming a female child and the XY, capital X and capital Y formation is producing a male child. Next we'll go for the genes. What is a gene? Genes are specific DNA segments that control the expression of a character. Now we'll know what is allele. Every gene has two alternative forms. They are known as alleles. Next there is the dominant and recessive points. The superruling allele is called the dominant character and the submissive one is called the recessive character. Now we'll know what is genotype and what is phenotype. Genotype is the combination of genes and phenotype is the expressed characters. Gregor Johann Mendel, the father of genetics, crossed two pure breeding varieties of pea plant by taking contrasting traits of one single character, which is known as Monohybrid Cross, and contrasting traits of two different characters, which are known as Dihybrid Cross. Next, for a monohybrid cross, Mendel found the phenotype ratio in F2 generation is 3:1 and the genotype ratio in F2 generation is 1:2:1. So finally we need to memorize the fact is that The monohybrid cross phenotype is 3:1 and the genotype in monohybrid cross is 1:2:1. For a dihybrid cross, Mendel found the phenotype ratio in F2 generation, that is 9:3:3:1, and the genotype ratio in F2 generation is very complex, that is 12:24:12:12:1. Finally, we need to memorize the dihybrid cross phenotype ratio, that is 9:3:3:1. Now you can see the format given here. This was actually performed by Gregor Johann Mendel. The formula that he has given is that we'll have to place the dominant character in the beginning and it will be followed by the recessive one. So as you can see, the round yellow seeds are denoted by capital R and capital Y, and wrinkle green seeds are denoted by the small case letters such as small r and small y. In F2 generation and F1 generation, we'll just have a look of this combination. You can see the horizontal and the vertical sections. The horizontal section is being denoted by female sex cells and the vertical section is referred by male sex cells. Now just try to make the table of yourself, and after making the table you'll just form the phenotype ratio, that is 9:3:3:1, and while you are forming this table you just keep the thing in your mind that the dominant one will be followed by the recessive. That's all. Now we'll move on to the next topic, that is Mendel's Law. And Mendel's Law is most important for this chapter, genetics. Mendel's three principal laws are law of dominance, number 2 law of segregation, and number 3 law of independent assortment. Mendel's first law of dominance. Out of a pair of contrasting characters present together, only one is able to express itself while the other remains suppressed. The one that is expressed is the dominant character and the one unexpressed is the recessive. The recessive character can express only when the pair consists of both recessives or homozygous recessives. Mendel's second law. This law of segregation is also known as law of purity of gametes. This law states that the two members of a pair of factors separate during the formation of gametes. They do not blend but segregate or separate into different gametes. The gametes combine together by random fusion at the time of zygote formation. Law of Mendel, law of independent assortment. When there are two pairs of characters, the distribution of the alleles of one character into gametes is independent of the distribution of the alleles of the other character. Application of Mendel's laws. A knowledge of the basic Mendelian principles gives us an idea about the new combinations in the progeny of hybrids and enables us to predict their frequency. Number 2. Such information is of great importance to both plant and animal breeders for producing better breeds. Now just look at this picture. This picture is the schematic diagram of helical structure of DNA. This picture is important for you. You can see in this picture the bonds of adenine, guanine, cytosine and thymine bond you can see here. So practice this picture. This is important as well. On behalf of all the members, I thank you students. Thanks for watching this video and stay tuned. Press the bell icon on the YouTube app and subscribe our channel now. If you have already subscribed, thanks for subscription and stay with us for your better future.